Welcome back. It is the Arvo Flow Sports Hour, and for the first time in 2023, Johnny Moore rejoins us on Flow FM to talk football. He's back in his home in the UK. Johnny, it's great to be back with you. How are you doing?
Yeah, going well, thanks, Ellis, and to all those listeners out there. Great to be back. Hopefully everyone's had a good start to the year, and we're looking forward to talking everything football. And it's exciting times with all the fixtures coming up thick and fast, and with the transfer window.
You are absolutely dead right, Johnny. So let's get right into it. We'll talk firstly about Liverpool's shock horror result, losing to Brighton, and this really is adding to the narrative that's coming out in some sections of the media that Jurgen Klopp and his time at Liverpool may well be about to end. What did you make of this result, Johnny? Because Liverpool losing to Brighton, they'd probably want to stay alive in the Cups, because I don't think they're going to be winning the Premier League. Not a good result at all.
No, for all those Liverpool fans out there, a disappointing result. Look, take nothing away from Brighton. They're probably one of the most informed teams at the moment. They're obviously doing well in the domestic formats, in I think 6 on the ladder. So look, there are no mugs, as I like to say, between the terminology, and they've got some really good talent amongst their ranks. But look, for the Liverpool fans, and like I said, for the really playing group as well, that's probably the one trophy that was definitely within their grasp. And now, they didn't really perform to the levels of what we've seen over the last few years. And there's just something that's not quite gelling there. I know everyone talks about injuries, but every club's got injuries amongst their squad. So, things just aren't quite there. I do believe Mane, not just one player in particular, but he was definitely a real menace, I think, for the opponents, and he's a big loss for them. But look, you can't just look in the past. I think they've got to focus on the future, and some of these young players have got to really step up and really get account of themselves. So yeah, look, disappointing result, but I know for Brighton fans out there, the Seagulls, they're obviously flying high.
We often talk about the magic of the Cup, and one of the dominant themes in this latest round of the FA Cup was the lower league sides holding their own. A lot of sides forcing replays where you wouldn't have expected it, Johnny, such as that of the game between Luton Town and Grimsby. Luton Town, 2 divisions higher than Grimsby Town. We also had some other interesting results. Ipswich Town drawing 0-0 with Burnley, Blackburn Rovers and Birmingham drawing 0-0. But as I say, the lower league sides making good accounts of themselves, and Sunderland were no exception. They've just come into the championship this season, of course, and they forced a draw away from home at Craven Cottage against Fulham. So a very impressive result for the Black Cats, who are looking to steady that ship after what's been a very unsteady decade or so, Johnny.
Yeah, as you've talked about all those teams amongst the fixtures there, I think definitely the what we call the minor opposition, or the lower tiered teams, is a real opportunity in the FA Cup to cause an upset, and that's something as a player, and I've played in the FA Cup over the years, that you really look forward to drawing against a big team, not only for the occasion of getting probably more fans, and if it's a away game, going to potentially a fantastic stadium and obviously their facilities and bits and pieces. But look, there's always a chance of a cup upset. It's a one-off game, and for these teams that you've mentioned to cause either an upset or get a replay, and just in depth there on the Black Cats, they've obviously really picked up over the last couple of seasons, and them looking to try and get themselves back in the Premier League, which once upon a time they were obviously a real force in that sort of Premier League, and caused up a few good upsets in normal domestic. But yeah, hopefully the replays can cause another sort of result that surprises a few people. But yeah, look, the FA Cup is something from a child's perspective. Growing up, you really look forward to being involved, and hopefully one day setting foot on what they call the either the old or the new Wembley.
Just to rattle off some other results, no troubles for your Tottenham Hotspur team. They got over the line against Preston in pretty comfortable fashion, winning 3-0 away from home. Preston North then from the Championship. Man United getting over Reading 3-1. We also had Man City beating Arsenal. And the other results which really caught my eye, Leicester City struggling to get the win away from home to Walsall. 1-0 was the final result there. Sheffield Wednesday, a 1-1 draw draw with Fleetwood Town. Accrington Stanley losing at home to Leeds United. And we also had, Johnny, one of your former sides, Stevenage, doing a pretty decent job getting beaten in the end, but they were competitive. 3-1 going down to Stoke City, a couple of divisions higher than them. But of course, the result everyone is talking about due to the Disney documentary, which features Wrexham FC. They are not in the Football League. They're a side that is not considered professional, but they've been taken over by Ryan Reynolds, who's ploughing money into the team, hoping to complete that dream from non-league to Premier League. Well, they got a good taste of it, Johnny. Sheffield United, the championship side, 3-3 the final score. No one saw this coming, and it certainly would have been an absolutely thrilling experience for those involved in the production of Wrexham's story overall. So a fantastic result to see Wrexham now being able to travel to Sheffield in the replay. Everyone will be looking forward to that replay, Johnny.
Yeah, most definitely, Ellis. A really exciting game. I watched the majority of the game. And look, it was not the best of starts for the Wrexham team and the fans. They went 1-0 down after 2 minutes. Corner came in and Sheffield United took an early lead, and you thought maybe from there Sheffield United would really dominate. But to Wrexham's credit, they came back into the game. And look, they actually had two early injuries as well shortly after that goal they conceded. So I think they had their two centre-backs being taken off as well. So definitely piled the pressure on Wrexham early on. But yeah, like I said, they came out, they got back into the game and really made a good account of themselves. And they're unfortunately a whisker away from winning the game. Sheffield United, I think, deep into injury time, I think the 96th minute, they got an equaliser to bring the game back to 3-3 and take it into a replay, which I think Wrexham would be really feeling hard done by, and think about they've thrown away an opportunity, but they're still in the draw. They've got a big positively now, as opposed to think about what if they've got that got the job done. But like I said, keeping that fairy tale alive, I think the confidence they'll take from that first game, and like you said, with Ryan Reynolds and his backing staff there, they're looking a force to be reckoned with, and obviously domestically they're going very well, sitting on top of their ladder. So yeah, things are looking rosy there at the moment.
We might not get another opportunity to talk about the FA Cup, Johnny. Just want to ask you, how do you see the competition progressing? Can any of the Championship or lower league sides really compete and win the FA Cup, which is something we haven't seen for a very long time? I feel as though this is the season where it might happen, because as we said at the top of the show, there's so many results that have been played out over the weekend, which people would have expected far bigger scorelines in.
Yeah, most definitely, but I think in a lot of these fixtures, like I said, the underdogs really have nothing to lose. They throw everything at them, and like I said, all it takes is a couple of unforced errors or a bit of pressure early days. And sometimes these lower leagues, they know how to defend, and they can get players behind the ball if they go 1-0 up, and make it a very difficult task for the bigger clubs to sort of break them down. And obviously, from a playing point of view, there's lots of tactics that can come into play. But overall, look, going on your question there, look, I think if a couple of the bigger teams draw each other, so if a Man City draw against Brighton, one team's going to get knocked out, it makes it probably an easier pathway. For me, I'm probably not going to think of a Championship side or even a lower tiered side than that to win the FA Cup. Hopefully someone proves me wrong, and it's lovely to see those, talk about those fairy tales of teams coming through and making it to either the final or hopefully winning it. But for me, I believe probably you'll see an all Premiership tie, assuming the draws go nice all the way to the final, and that's nothing to be sad about. But yeah, it's always nice to sort of have one of those clubs making it even at least the semi-finals, because it does bring in, like I said, more of those neutral fans getting behind those underdogs.
Well, Johnny Moore, our football expert, it's been a sad time for you and your family heading back to the UK. All of us at Flow FM send our well wishes across to you. Thanks so much for having the good grace to come back on and recommence your football segment here in 2023. We'll speak to you again very soon, Johnny. All the best to you.
Thank you, Ellis, and my pleasure talking everything football. It's always in my heart. So, like I said, hopefully everyone out there has enjoyed that segment, and look forward to speaking to you soon.